Hello, and welcome to the Kosh. I'm your host, Timber Smith, and once again, I'm super excited about our guest this week. We got somebody who's near and dear to my heart, one of my fraternity brothers, Dr. Shawn Robinson. What's going on over there, Dr. Robinson? How you feeling today?
I'm pretty good.
You doing good?
Yes.
All right.
Hope I don't mess up.
Nah, man, there is no messing up on the Kosh. This is just the Kosh.
No.
Hey, so can you please share a little something about yourself and what is your connection to the city of Oshkosh?
Well, let me start with my connection with the Kosh first, and I think that will talk about who I am. And so I started in the Project Success Program here in the Kosh at University of Wisconsin Oshkosh in '96. But when I started, I was reading at an elementary level, so I was very illiterate, and I had no real strong academic background coming into college. And so the Kosh was the first city after high school and college that it accepted me and allowed me to blossom into who I am today. So, a little bit about myself, outside of being a husband, a father, a scholar, researcher, author, I think for me, what really drives my identity of who I am is somebody who has dyslexia and somebody who's had to overcome challenges associated with having dyslexia and not knowing how to read, and starting here in Oshkosh as an 18-year-old who was scared, immature, angry, bitter, just a lot of emotions. So that's my connection with Oshkosh. Is it was a place that allowed me to become from a boy to a man, in a sense, in a professional. So really, if it wasn't for the university, I don't think I could be speaking with authority on this, that I would be here sitting in front of you having this conversation with you, or even the past that I had in life. So that's, a little bit about myself in terms of where I've come from. But, I guess something else is, I like to bike. I'm an avid biker.
Wait. Break that down. What kind of biking you do?
Get on my bike with my legs and spin my legs.
No, come on, man. Come on now. You can do better than that.
I guess it's a drive, man. I'm addicted. I do a lot of century. So last...
Wait, what's a century?
100 miles.
What?
Yes, 100 miles.
Man, you literally get on a bike.
Just go.
And do 100 miles.
100 plus miles.
How many days that take?
Oh, it doesn't take me days at all.
What you mean?
Takes 6.5, 7 hours.
For 6, 7, 7.5 hours, you just bike straight and just knock out 100 miles.
Pretty much.
Man, come on now.
No one wants to go with me.
Let me be one of those people that do not want to go with you. I'm not about that life. I think I enjoy riding a bike like the next person. It's called leisurely. There is no 100 miles. I'm lucky if I get a couple good blocks in.
Well, it is technically leisure because it's biking. It's just doing 100 miles.
No, man. There's nothing leisure about 100 miles. There. I don't know about you. There's nothing.
Bruh.
There's nothing leisure about 100 miles.
Yeah, in October, we biked from the Kosh to Evanston, Illinois in one day. So I biked...
Evanston, so Illinois, you biked from Oshkosh to the next state in one day.
Mm-hmm. Took us just under 13 hours. A couple of my biking buddies from Will and Sprocket here in Oshkosh.
Oh, shout out to Will and Sprocket.
Yep. And so they sponsored the ride, and they followed us in a van. So I started with Kurt and Bob, and then Dave at the time, who's the general manager now in the Appleton store. And Emily, they drove the van and followed us, and we biked till we got to the border of Illinois. And then some of my frat brothers who bike continued the bike ride with us from the border into Evanston.
That's got to feel good, man. That's an amazing feat. That's like, I can't even imagine that biking something like that. That's like people who do triathlons and run marathons and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get out and just go. It's like my therapy. It's like my my time to reflect on life and just go. And I think it started because I have a lot of friends who do Ironman and, they do all those long bike rides and running and swimming, and I can't run. So once I tried my first 100-mile bike ride, I failed, and I failed, and I failed, and I failed, and I got so addicted to not wanting to fail anymore, so I just kept trying, and then it just became like natural. So I just get out and just go. Like,
I think there's a lesson in life on that right there. I'm gonna have to. That's definitely a lesson in life, and we'll have to we'll talk about that more later. How about that?
Sure.
All right. So, you ready to jump into the first segment?
Not really. No, I'm joking.
Stop that. Stop it. All right. So, this is the segment we call "What in the World is Going On With," and so you start the sentence with "What in the world is going on," and then you finish with "What in the world is going on with." Give us your topic.
Social justice, I guess.
Oh,
in a sense, because everything right now in the world is, if it's health, if it's COVID, if it's people from underserved communities not giving access to COVID or comorbidities in terms of health or education or maybe business, but social justice is pretty big in any aspect that we look or frame. It's always going to be there.
That's true. That's true. I want to get you to elaborate a little bit on some of the things that you mentioned in there, and social justice. I mean, I feel social justice. God knows I've taken my fair share of educational opportunities about the topic in itself. What stands out to you? What do you think? Because that's a broad umbrella, right? All right. What in social justice? What's important to you? What stands out to you about the term social justice?
Just making sure that people have equal access and affordability to certain situations and certain things. I know there's a lot of debate that, people should have to work harder to get what they want or not blame other people. And my thing is that a lot of individuals don't come from the same social economic backgrounds. And so if I could help somebody move forward in their life and provide them opportunity and to have a voice and a platform, then I feel I've done my job justice. And I feel like, to me, that's a part of social justice, is opening the door for people behind me to come through, or even somebody next to me who might be struggling in their own personal lives, to allow them a platform to find themselves, in a better place in their own personal lives.
I'm with you on that. I'm for anything where we, as a people, as a community, as a village, are trying to take care of each other. That's so important overall, that's something we have to do. We got to take care of each other. We got to look out for each other. I know society kind of, it feels as if they're, I'm not against the whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps kind of idea, because I do think, you have to work at things. But in the same sense, opportunity is not equally distributed.
Correct.
Right? And so that is where we are only as good as the least of us.
That's very true.
So I'm all for when there's opportunities to help and get others into good places. It only makes for a stronger us.
That's true. And another thing is that when we talk about social justice or, talk about opportunities, there's a lot of division in the world, right? And everyone keeps talking about division between maybe cultures or, people of color or religion. But the end of the day is that a lot of people have a lot of similarities. So if we can listen to each other and really understand that at the end of the day that we really want the best for our communities and our families, then we can then bypass the whole, narrative about differences, because we could talk about differences until we die. Like, it just, we can become angry, we become emotional. Like, that doesn't solve anything. But if we sit down and have some good dialogue where there is differences, but we're just like, you know what, we have a lot of things that's similar, I think we can move forward. But it's.
I honestly don't ever feel like, as people in the United States, as citizens, as Americans, we don't really have that big of differences. I don't care, who you are, what your religion, sexual orientation, culture, race, none of that. Like, none of it's that different. Like, it's real simple to me. There's some basics. Everybody wants a decent job that gives them an identity that they feel good about, right? And everybody needs to make enough money to be able to eat, sleep in a decent place, and if they have a family, take care of them too, right? Take care of them children's.
That's true.
And then, everybody wants to have good relationships with other people.
That's true.
And so there's so much, there's so much in common. First of all, I don't know no American that likes that likes high taxes. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I'm also in the belief that you need to pay them things because that's for the greater good of all of us, not for some of us, right?
Yep.
We all want a decent car that runs, food that tastes good, just the basics. I just think there's basics, and those basics are universal across almost every category of person that you could mention.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna jump in here for a quick second and do my what in the world is going on with. So, what in the world is going on with fast food prices? Bruh, let me tell you something, man. So, I went. You know what? I'm not even gonna say where I went, but I'm gonna tell you what I did. I was going from work, hungry. I had a half day, so I was going in around lunchtime. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go grab something for to eat. Right? I was like, I'm gonna grab a burger. I'm gonna grab some fries. I'm gonna grab a soda. Right? Now, I remember a time in my life that there. Of basically what I would equivalent out to a value meal. You know what I'm hollering about? That value meal was sub $10. You know, that value meal was probably more like $6, $7, $7.50, $7.75, something like that, right? Why is the value meal over $10 now? Actually, over $11, like close to $12. That's one person eating in fast food.
I don't know, but I can relate because we take our boys every once in a while to get Happy Meals, and it's expensive. It's sometimes $20. I'm like, $20 for?
Wait, how many Happy Meals is $20?
Well, not technically $20, but it's like $14, and then if you get like an extra fry, large fry, the total then adds up to, between $15 and $20. And I'm like, for 4 nuggets and a fry and an apple juice and a kid's toy, you telling me this is like $7-8 just for this one meal? That's what's
in a Happy Meal.
Pretty much.
You get 4 nuggets.
You get 4 or 6 nuggets with an apple juice and a small fry and a little toy.
Is it a good toy?
Well, to the kids, they love them. Yes.
All right. You know what? Look, a good toy is invaluable if it creates peace with the children's.
Yeah, only lasts for so long, and then it ends up going in the garbage.
That's fair. That's fair. All right.
But I mean, it's a supply and demand. It's always going to be there. You know that they have a high volume of traffic, and you know, I'm sure, you know, prices could be going up too. I mean, who knows? But yes, it's expensive.
I definitely think food prices have gone up since the pandemic. I just think, you know, I could be, maybe I'm off base in this, but I do sense that going to the grocery store comes out just a little bit more than it used to come out prior to COVID.
Yes. It definitely jacked some prices up.
Yeah, and I don't think that's just me sitting at home eating, working from the house. I actually do think there's a cost analysis here that things have gone up.
Yes, I agree with you on that one.
All right, so you ready for segment 2? Segment 2 is our word association segment.
Okay,
and this is where I mention a word, and you tell me what comes to mind,
okay.
right? All right, first word, food.
Avocado. That's a food, isn't it?
You eat it, so
yes.
Yeah. What's up with avocados, though?
I just like avocados. They're good. They're healthy, and they source, I guess, protein, and I mean, or you know, vegetable too, I guess, in a sense. I mean, I love them. I put them on everything. I put them on eggs, sandwiches, omelets.
All right. Hey, I feel you on the avocados. I actually never had really eaten avocados until I saw you eat an avocado, and then I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm at least gonna give it a chance. And then I gave it a chance, and I have to say, I like avocados. They straight.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They're filling too, and they're just a good source of you know, food.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not eating them for no health aspects to it. I just actually like avocados, you know, and guacamole. I'm all about that.
Guacamole, yes.
All right, cool. Next word, Amazon.
Amazon. Well, two things. My wife likes to shop on Amazon.
Bruh. Facts.
Two, I mean, it's probably the largest distribution place in the world, in America, and it seems like that's the place that's going to dominate, you know, retail sales. I mean, everything goes through Amazon.
Hey, I am a huge advocate of Amazon purchases, and I'm going to tell you why. You know why I like Amazon so much? Because it is the most equal opportunity shopping experience there is.
Yes.
You know, that Amazon don't care about what you look like.
That's very true. I'll care about your money.
Yeah. Amazon does not care who you are. It does not care about anything. Amazon delivers the package to your door, and it's an equal opportunity shopping experience. I ain't never been followed by Amazon.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had no problems with Amazon. And the return policy is pretty nice, too. Once again, I'm going to give a shout-out to Amazon. Hey, if anybody from Amazon's ever out there listening to the Kosh, you know, if you want to go on and sponsor the Kosh, look, I'm open to it. Let's talk about it. All right?
Be a good partnership.
Hey, we can work with them. All right. Next word. You ready?
Yes.
Music.
Two things come to my mind, I guess. One, smooth jazz, and then two, meditation music.
Is that what you listen to?
Yeah, I don't know a lot of artists in terms of the smooth jazz. I just asked Alexa to play smooth jazz at my home, and that's what I listen to when I write.
Is that what you do? Just holler at Alexa, be like, hey, break out that smooth jazz.
Pretty much.
Yep, I feel you on that.
And then the meditation when I sleep, or if I'm just need to get out of my own head, I just throw on some meditation music and let it ride, I guess.
Do you ever do the meditations where they actually talk you through the meditations?
I have with my wife before. We've done that where they, you know, explicitly tell you how to breathe, and they kind of walk you through the steps.
Yes.
But then I kind of get distracted, so I'm like, I can't do this. I need to just.
I feel you on that. Like, definitely, you can easily let other things flow into that orbit or that feeling while they're trying to. It's basically hypnotism. It's basically them trying to hypnotize. All right. Okay. Next word. Sports.
Probably gonna get myself jumped here when I leave. Anti-Packers? No, I'm just joking, man.
Hey, it's okay. Look, it ain't nothing personal in this joint. You know, hey, who's your team if it ain't the Packers?
The Bears.
Bruh.
Look, that ain't gonna get you jumped, but it's definitely gonna cause you some issues around these parts in the Wisconsin now.
That's true.
Now, that being said, I'm not. If anybody that truly knows me, I'm not a true fan of any sport in particular. I'm not a sports guy. I follow sports just enough to know what the hell is going on in the world. But the Bears, why the Bears, man?
I just grew up in the suburbs of Chicago and went to a lot of Bears games when I was a young kid. And
okay, that's fair. So it's hometown.
Yeah.
Bears are hometown.
Yes, but I guess another thing in sports too is I was reading something on ESPN today about a football player, soccer in Europe. I think it was Europe or Russia, that said LeBron James needs to pretty much close his mouth and not get into politics or social justice and just focus on playing. It was just on today. So when you think about sports, that's something else that came to mind is the whole, who controls the narrative, who wants us to speak. And, it's interesting, when we have a platform and we speak with, authority and being realistic and speaking from experience, people want to silence us and they don't want to hear our voices. And so that's in the sports world. I just thought about that when it came up. I read that today.
I always find that to be like I find people that go down that road they're highly hypocritical. And what I mean by that is on one side they're saying shut up and play the sport. But then let's say they shut up and play the sport and do something wrong, then they jump on them about being role models. Right? You can't have it both ways, And if the role model side of the athlete decides that this is something he believes in and he's going to talk on it, and just because you don't like it, you don't get to come on the other side of it and then be mad if it's on the other side of that coin, right? That just doesn't sit well with me. And number two, there's so many of our youth who look to sports as connection with other youth and growth and ways to learn about teamwork. And there's so much interwoven into sports. I just don't I think it's an important thing, and that our athletes do have platforms and should get the opportunity to express how they feel. I know a whole lot of people that make a whole lot less than athletes that feel the need to express how they feel at their job and can say what they want to say. So I don't see what the problem is with LeBron saying what he want to say.
Yeah, it goes back to, the oppressor mentality. You speak when I tell you to speak, and you speak of information that I tell you what's okay to speak of, and so for me, I'm all about people having the voice and having the platform, and they need to be able to articulate their thoughts in a way that's going to get their point across. And for me personally, I'll be damned if somebody tells me I need to be quiet. Like, I'm a grown man, first of all, and I'm going to speak what I'm going to speak. And if you don't like it, well, that's your problem, not mine. I'm going to go home and still play Xbox. I'm still go home and play with my two kids. It's the truth.
I understand where you're coming from, and I'm a firm believer that you don't get a say in things unless you're paying a bill in the house. So if you want to if you want to say in how things are done, or you want to say what can and can't be done, I got some bills over here that you are more than welcome to co-sign your name to, and then you can have a say. All right. You ready for the next one?
Sure.
All right. Education.
Freedom.
Elaborate.
Well, education opens doors, provides opportunities we talked about before, not just for income and salary, but allows people to make pivots, allows them to grow, allows them to really understand their place within their respective disciplines. And really, it just education is something that no one can ever take back from you.
That's true.
But there's two types of education, right?
Okay. Well,
There's the book education
Yep.
with degrees, and then there's real life street experience education. And I'm not talking about streets from like people think we say streets, they think about the ghetto or the hood or inner city. No, streets could be anything. It could be your lived experiences, your life experiences, anything that you have overcome personally, traumatic experiences, anything that you have experienced that brought you out of was your best teacher, your best experience, your best lesson. And so those two things together are provide, to me, a platform for somebody to be authoritative and realistic in their specific disciplines. And so education is very important. I think, again, not everyone has equal access to education.
Yep.
Not everyone has access to affordable education.
That's true.
And not everyone has access to equal education. So, and that's where it becomes the haves and have-nots. And that's where people get left behind is within the context of the education space. And I don't care if it's here in the Kosh, if it's in rural, Iowa or New Mexico or the inner city of Milwaukee. Like, it's universal. There's families who are struggling across the board. And so education to me is near dear to my heart, just my own experience. So, I think it leads to, personally to me, I think it leads to a life of freedom and allows you to really live the American dream. But then you ask yourself, what is really the American dream? So I just think it provides opportunities for people to reflect and even do what you're doing, starting a podcast and, having a platform and, through your own educational experiences, you decided this is what you want to do. So I think it just opens doors for people. It gives them an opportunity,
Yeah, I agree. It's super, it can be super important, but education comes in a lot of different forms. I'm not talking that it's got to be something where you got to sit down in a classroom. There's a lot of places to gain education from, but we all need places to learn from.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. My cousin on my dad's side, I think he's 54 now, but he's straight street from the South Side of Chicago, 7th Avenue Roads, straight HOOD. I'm from the suburbs, middle upper class, white community, but when I was navigating my undergrad and master's program, I probably learned more from him than some of my own faculty members about life and experience. And so I went to class and I was writing things in my papers. My professors were like, that's interesting theory. How'd you learn about that? I said, my cousin. They said, where's your cousin go to school? I said, the streets. In a sense, he taught me more about, embracing your world lived experiences and, told me what not to do and kept encouraging me to continue my education because, education is important, man. It's a great equalizer.
It can be. I think there's a couple of things that come up as the equalizer. Education can be one of them, but I would say that sometimes that only works if it's good education. There's bad education out there, and then it ain't equalizing. It could be making the road harder to hoe, so to say.
Yes, yes, and I see that now being at the community college, and I'm sure it's at the universities too, where this generation of students that are coming out of the high school systems and even some of the adult learners have been pushed through the system. And when they get to college, it's like they hit a major wall because they really don't know how to navigate their learning, and because they've been failed by the system, and they don't have the strategies, the reading comprehension strategies, the effective communication strategies, the writing strategies to navigate. So essentially, as you said, they received a bad education. And so I'm thinking, like, how did you make it through high school to get in college, and you're this low? And I'm thinking it's not your fault. Like, you are not at fault for this. You've been failed miserably by the educational system.
Yeah. And that being said, I wasn't even necessarily addressing that directly to education. And I was actually thinking about, which, I mean, that exists. I've seen it. But I was actually thinking more like even just people teaching each other, right?
Oh, yes.
You have, you can go to friends, you can go to family, family, you might have that one uncle that's teaching you that stuff that's a little off, right? or you got your friends in school that's teaching you something a little off. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. No, that is true.
I'm going to bring up some friends I had early on in my college journey when I was trying to learn about financial aid, and it was giving me horrible financial aid advice, and I was like, yeah, and still paying for that.
Well, it's because if we think about it, I guess this will go to the other word phrase, association. It's like everyone, when we communicate, everyone wants to have an answer. Everyone wants to have advice. Everyone wants to think they're right. Everyone wants to, think their idea is the best. And it's like, nah, just stay in your lane. If you don't know it, just admit it. You don't know it. Don't try to jump into another lane and embarrass yourself and then give bad advice, because that doesn't help you or anybody else either.
It's hard. I think it's hard for some people to just flat out, like, I've gotten very used to just flat out being honest and saying, I don't know. I don't know what that is, or I don't know about that. But I think for some people, I'm going to say my experience is there's a lot of Wisconsin know-it-alls walking around.
That's everywhere, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. But, hey, look, I'm just talking about my personal experiences.
No, I'm with you. I tell people, I have to admit, I was one of those people when I first finished my PhD. I thought, I need to be the expert at everything. I need to, have my hand in this, that, and the other. And I got hit hard. Like, hit hard. I mean, like, spiritually, I got hit hard. My wife hit me hard, not physically, but just the experience. My friends, my pastor, they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you trying to be somebody that you're not? And why are you trying to jump into all these different lanes when you know that these lanes are not yours? And it's going to backfire on you." And I was like, it's not going to backfire on me. And then it backfired on me.
Bruh. All right. I'm feeling that.
So that's why I just stay in my lane. Like you say, I don't know. I'm okay with not knowing. And if I don't know, I'm going to try to find someone who does know that can help. So that's
right. Or if it's interesting enough, I might actually try to learn.
Yes.
So I know.
Yes.
All right. So, the next segment is called the Naughty or / Heroes Corner. It's your opportunity to nominate somebody to it, whether you want to call somebody out on something, or it doesn't, not necessarily a person. It could be a situation, organization, whatever. Or you can celebrate somebody, or same situation. So what are you thinking over there? What you feeling there, Dr. Robinson?
Who do I nominate? I guess in a sense, I guess I would not guess. Let me take that back. I would nominate my wife for a couple reasons. One, outside of her being a doctor, a nurse anesthetist, I think that the fact that she persevered through her doc program and was the first African American student to graduate, I think it speaks volumes, particularly coming from the Kosh and coming from where we are at, particularly today, with limited resources in terms of the healthcare and, not having many professionals, health practitioners who of our color. And so I think, she's a hero in a sense because she works in the front line in the hospital every day, dealing with not just surgeries and operate, but also the whole COVID thing too.
Now that there, more so than anything else, to me makes her a hero. And no ifs, ands, or buts. I think anybody who's working in healthcare right now and who's out there on that front line, like, that's serious. You know what I mean? Like, you are truly putting yourself at risk for the greater good of a bigger community, for the village, so to say.
Yes.
So I applaud that most definitely. And you let the wife know we appreciate her out there on the front line. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure. Hopefully she'll tune in to your episode, but then again, maybe not, because she's the wife. She might be like, "No, I don't need to hear nothing else from that man."
Probably.
All right. So, topic of the week. All right. This is the guest always gets to pick the topic of the week because it's their episode, and the topic of the week this week is what you don't see. So, what does that exactly mean, Shawn? What do you mean when you say what you don't see?
For me, everyone's got different perspective on it. For me, is that when people see me, they just see all my successes, right? They see that I'm a published author. They see I'm a researcher, an instructor. They see that, I have a kid's book out. They see I have Dr. Dyslexia Dude. They see all these things, right? But there's one thing they don't see or don't really know is what got me to this point. And that's what they don't see. They don't see my failure, my pain, my emotion, my, wanting to give up, my going into depressive, modes, and just really, turn into alcohol or, just things that they don't see. They always want to talk about success. Well, I've had to fail to get to success. And so
that's it. That's most success stories. Most success stories have failure woven throughout them. I've yet to meet somebody who just hit success without having failures.
Yes. So that's what I mean. Like, what you don't see is what's underneath the pain, the personal struggles to get to where I've been, but other people too, based on their own, lived experiences. So when I think meant to say is what you don't see is those things. You don't see those things. Everyone wants to put someone on a pedestal to acknowledge their successes.
Shoot, that ain't the experience I've experienced. Most people be trying to knock you off the pedestal. So I don't know. You must have you on a different experience than I know.
No, in a sense, that's true. People want to hate. People want to knock you down. They want to discredit your character. Yes, that's a part of what you don't see too. Of getting to the pedestal is having to deal with adversity, and keep those thoughts and that negative energy out of your circle. And so in a sense, yes, when I say pedestal, people don't want to talk about the haters and talk about the people that, want to bash you. Or like when we first started my our kids book, we started a Instagram page, and somebody duplicated my account and was wishing I would die and
wishing you would die.
Yeah, and putting pictures of me getting hit by a car.
What?
Yeah, man. It was deep. I mean, at first it affected me, and then my pastor was like, "Just let it go, man." He's like, "Don't even waste your energy on it." It was hard because you know when you're in it, when I'm in it, I get emotional, I get attached to it, and you know I'm like, "Oh man, forget this," you know. And then one of my buddies was like, "Hey, just go make a police report." So I went and made a police report, and I mean, I know nothing was gonna happen to it, but the account got taken down. But yeah, man, it was. I mean, I look at it, it was pretty funny, man, because you know, wishing I got hit by a car and died, and it was a picture of me like bleeding out, and you know, I mean, this is the real jealousy and straight demonic people out there, you know. So
all I'm gonna say is this: I'm a firm believer that you truly are not successful until you have haters. At the point in which you know what? No one hates on a failure.
that's true.
I mean, just think about that logically. How many haters do you see give time to people who are failing? They don't. Haters hate on success. So that to me, that's just definition. That's saying, oh, I got a hater. I must be doing all right. I'm doing the thing. I'm making things happen. So I don't know. That I don't want detrimental haters. I don't want haters that are there to truly do me harm. But if they just out there hating for the sake of hating, because that's what they do, hey, I'll take a few of those. It's like fleas on a dog. You're going to have to drag a few along with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it goes.
That is true. You know, and I think too, in the sense, in the world that I live in the work I do, everyone wants to be the expert, right? Everyone, particularly now, you know, where did you get your degree from? Who did you study under? Did you do quantitative research? What journals did you write in? And it's like,
that's just academia, man.
I'm saying it gets deeper than that, though. Everyone's fighting for space. Everyone wants to fight to be the HNIC. Everyone wants to be the expert. And instead of working together collaboratively, people want to hate. They want to discredit somebody else. And it's like, come on, people. There's enough room at the table for everyone to eat.
Right. There's enough food everybody can eat.
And for me, you know, I don't go around bragging I got a PhD. I don't, you know, to me, that's why I bike a lot, because it humbles me, keeps me grounded. It allows me to really reflect on life, and writing and talking about where I publish my work or what university I work at. That stuff doesn't matter. When I go out to the community and I work with families to teach them how to read, I think they ask me, Dr. Robinson, what school did you go to? What journals did you write in? They don't care about that stuff. They want to know, are you serious about helping my son or daughter read? Can you help them? Yes, that's the end of the day. And so, you know, that's why I say what you don't see is because, you know, even in my doc program, I had 2 professors that literally failed me and said, you should do something different. Like, they failed me. They said, you are not material, PhD material. I think it's best that you try to do something different. And at that time, I wasn't mature as I am now. And I was like, yeah,
you're mature?
Well, more than that was 10 years ago. And so, you know, Dr. Strop and Dr. Terry.
Oh, you put them on blast.
And I put them, every time I speak, I put them on blast.
Yeah, you ain't holding nothing
back. Nope. Nope. Because the thing is, you had a deficit thinking about my ability. And so instead of trying to help, you thought by discouraging me and failing me that I would just crawl in a little cave and cry. No, you know, heck no. So that's why I'm saying, like, people don't see the experiences, you know, like I could have, you know, bundled up and thrown a towel. No, that's not who I am. And so, you know, those 2 experiences fueled me. And then even, you know, I had people tell me, oh, you never be a published author because my writing wasn't good. And so what I did is I put my head down and I just practiced, and I found people that could help me. And then I just wrote.
I think you said something really important right there. It takes a village. You know what? I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you are at your craft. It takes assistance from others. No one gets anything by themselves.
No. And, you know, I'm not sure how much time we have here. You know, when you say that, Dr. Kitts, he's a professor emeritus at the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh.
Shout out to Dr. Kitts. He's also a vet. You know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, man. I got love for him.
You should have him on here too.
Hey, hey, look, everybody's welcome on the Kosh.
He when I was in my PhD program, this man spent probably more time than he needed to make sure that I got through and I was successful. He bought almost every book that I had in my class so he can read it with me, talk about the content with me, so I could understand what I was reading and have a dialogue about it. So
that's love.
So
you know what? That's nothing less than love.
So technically, he earned a second PhD in my eyes because he, from the beginning to the end, got me through. Like,
I'm feeling you on that, and you know what? That makes me happy to hear that, to hear that kind of dedication amongst us people, taking care of each other, helping each other reach a really amazing heights and goals.
And there's
something to be said for that.
Yeah, and that's why I said, you know, what you don't see is those experiences. Even when I started Oshkosh in '96 as an 18-year-old who started college at an elementary reading level, like, who starts college at reading at an elementary level? Like, that's criminal. Like, no adult should start college or be in college reading at that. Like, what opportunities do they have? We talk about opportunities. What kind of justice is that? What type of life can they really live? And so that's where I was at. I was literally an 18-year-old reading at an elementary level. And Dr. Nash, the one who diagnosed me and literally saved my life, was like, look, man, you are one of the most illiterate kids I've ever met in my life. He's like, you're awful. He's like, you're bad.
But
he was like, I see a gift in you. He said, I'm going to teach you how to read.
That's what's up.
And so when he taught me how to read,
that's what's up.
I just became a sponge, and, you know, it took me 6 years to get my undergrad degree. It took me 5 years to get my master's. It took me 7 years to get my PhD. So literally I was in school 18 plus years after high school, getting my education and getting what was neglected from me within those first 18 years of my life, essentially, the K-12 system. So that's what I'm saying. People don't know what they don't see is the hardship, the trauma, the pain, you know, and then, you know, growing up without a father and not meeting my dad till I was 23, 24, and all these things, you know, psychologically impact people. So,
bruh, I feel you on that. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
All right. Anything else you want to throw in there?
When are you going to bike with me?
Never. let me help you out with that right now. That is a absolute no.
You know, one thing I've learned over the last few months being an entrepreneur in terms of a children's book writer with my wife, and just navigating this space of the ed tech space is I'd rather be a poor man with a vision than a rich man with no soul. A lot of people don't get that.
No, a lot people who want to have a soul get it. Some people, that's not how that's not the measurement of their worth.
That's true.
So, I mean, to each their own. I'm not here to judge. That's not my job. There's somebody much more greater and more powerful out there to do the judging. That is not the Kosh. All right. So, let me just say right now that please, it's that time. We're going to start wrapping it up. If you have any questions, if you'd like to be a guest, if you got anything you'd like to share, you know, we are a work in progress. I must always stress that. I appreciate hearing from all of y'all. Please send any questions or anything you would like to share to askthekosh@gmail.com. Once again, that is askthekosh@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. I do get people that reach out and let us know that they like what we're doing. They appreciate the attention that we're giving the community and how we are giving voice to those in our community. I mean, I think that's super important.
You know, when you say community, I think it's important for me to give a shout out to Will and Sprocket here in Oshkosh, because
yes,
they're like a family to me, and they've really embraced my family, and really embraced diversity. And so I want to make sure that within this context of the Kosh, that Will and Sprocket gets their respect for the work that they're doing in the community, and how they're trying to better the community too.
Hey, mad shout out to Will and Sprocket. I'm not gonna lie, I only set foot in there a few times, only because I'm not really a bike kind of guy. But when I did set foot in there, the people were super nice and super informative. I appreciated their high level of customer service and how they handled things.
Yeah, one more.
Look, we got a segment for the shout out. So you done go ahead, man. Go on, shout it out.
One thing they're trying to do in the spring, but moving forward, is to try to really endorse health, and really try to get more kids from underserved communities to get into biking. They really want to be able to help kids get access to bikes, because bikes are expensive.
Oh man, yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I also think, like, I don't know about everybody else, but I don't care what kid you were or how affluent or not affluent that your family was, you had a bike.
Everyone should have a bike.
Everybody kicked it with the bikes, right? I'm from Milwaukee. You rode them in the alleys. You did the things, right?
Every kid should have a bike. Like every kid should have a book. But we know that those two things are always accessible for families.
This is true. You know what? You keep talking about a bike. My favorite bike that I ever owned was this banana seat bike from back in the day. This banana seat bike, that bike was so good to me. That was my boys running up and down. You know, because a banana seat bike, you could grab your friends. You throw somebody on the back of your banana seat bike, man. You could throw somebody on the handlebars too, because them was the big old, handlebars, the big U-shapers. And then, man, I miss the rides that used to happen back on the block. That was good stuff.
Well, we could do a segment called Bike the Kosh.
Bruh.
No. Let me help that out right now. For anyone, I'm gonna put this out there to the Kosh audience right now. If Shawn Robinson asks you to go biking with him, it's hazing. It's not a good time. It's not fun. He trying to make you do 100 miles. No. Just
101 miles.
Wait, just say no. Just say no. All right. I'm going to give a quick shout out real quick on the way out of here. My shout out is to to Cook's Plumbing. Cook's Plumbing. Look, we've been utilizing Cook's Plumbing for years and years and years. And all I can say is this: every time they are solid, they do amazing work, trustful, they take care of you. Shout out to Cook's Plumbing. So thank y'all for y'all coming in, hooking us up with our sink and our faucet and stuff. Work was quality. Appreciated the conversation. Thank you, Cook's Plumbing. All right. So last part before we wrap it up here is you get some parting words of wisdom. So, Dr. Robinson, what do you got for us on them parting words of wisdom?
Oh, no, I'm a wisdom. Just be happy with yourself, be at peace, and just do what's right.
That there sounds like wisdom to me. So I appreciate you being a guest on the Kosh, Dr. Robinson, and I look forward to y'all tuning in a week from now for our next guest. Thank you very much for tuning in. The Kosh.